Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. I messed up. I was on the wrong Facebook page when I did this at 7:30. I jumped on the Nobody's Show page, not the Nobody Else's Auto page. So, that was my fault. Anyway, we'll do it again. I got everybody on the Nobody Show page, so now we're going to do the Nobody Else's Auto page. That was my mistake. I got in a hurry. I was trying to get a bunch of eBay work done. And I finished that up at about 7:28, grabbed the phone, and jumped on the wrong page. So, my fault, I messed up. Anyway, we got some stuff. We got everybody caught up on the Nobody's Show page, so let's do the Nobody Else's Auto page. Anyway, what we were going to talk about, what I just got done covering on the wrong page, but everybody on that page wanted to see it anyway, so we'll do them both. No big deal. Just takes a few extra minutes. How to find parts for your project. Now, you think, well, that's not a big deal. Yeah, it's a huge deal. As crazy as it sounds, it's a huge deal to me because of the information I need that I can't get out of people. Now, that may sound crazy to you. Here's some examples of what I deal with, and this is a perfect example why I don't do text and I don't do emails. So to start this off and drive this point home on why I need you to call me to discuss your project, I'm going to read you a few emails. And I only had to print like five emails to come up with these 4. First email I've got here. These are responses to my Craigslist ads, which my Craigslist ads also say, just like on my Facebook stuff, call me. You have to call me. Actual emails from my Craigslist ad. Looking for 1936 parts. Doors, glove box, windows. That's it. That's the whole email. Looking for rust-free and putty-free 67 cab and short wide fleet bed. Same, rust-free, putty-free. That's it. Chevy, Ford, Dodge, International. It's a cab, so I assume we're talking pickup, but I have no idea what kind of pickup. Here's a good email. Hi, do you have any old trucks? Yep, we do. Where do you go with that? Looking for 56 two-door sedan, quarter belt moldings. Send pics if you have some. Nothing to work with there. Hey, Hamilton, Missouri on with us. Okay. And as always on all my videos, if you've got any questions, throw them up there. I'll try to get to them. The purpose of these videos is going to be to try to help you guys help people like me with your projects. I can't see your vehicle. And I can't see in your head. So I don't know what you're working on, and I don't know what your vision is of what you want it to be when you're done. So tonight we're going to cover some basic tips on that, and we'll probably do this again next Sunday at 7:30 if I can get on the right page on this page. And we'll get into some of the other avenues about the places that I market, Craigslist, eBay, Facebook, what those websites consist of, how they operate, and what I have to do, what my parameters are, and what I need you guys to do to help me or to get a hold of me through those sites, because they have rules too. So we're going to start off tonight with some of the basics. What kind of vehicle do you have? And you would be amazed at the amount of people that call me and won't tell me that. They refuse to tell me what kind of vehicle they have. And I ask them and ask them and ask them. And it happens all the time. I pick up the phone. I need some parts for my 64 Chevy. Okay. Full-size car, Chevelle, Corvair, Corvette, pickup, big truck. And I have to ask and ask and ask, and people won't tell me. People won't tell me whether they got a 2-door, a 4-door, a convertible. I have to ask. Sometimes I have to ask 3, 4, 5 times trying to get information out of people. So when you call somebody like me, know what you've got. Be ready to tell me what you've got. What your vehicle is, what model it is, what body style it is. I know that a Chevelle is an A body, but I don't know if yours is a 2-door, a 4-door, a convertible, a poster, a hardtop, or a wagon. So that's the kind of information that I need. And it's a lot of things, and the crazy part about it is people don't think about that. And I ask and ask, and they won't tell me. That's why the emails and texts just don't work. Because if you don't think about that and don't put it in there, there's not much I can do about it. But if you call me, then I can say, okay, which one do you have? And then my notes are correct when I get out to the yard and try to look for what you need. So that's why when you see all of my ads, be it Craigslist, be it Facebook, whatever, that's why they say call me. 620-786-4428. Give me a shout and we can have that conversation. And then we'll know what direction we need to go, or if you've even got anything close. Along with that, you need to know what your vision is. I don't know what kind of vehicle you're building. I don't know if you're doing a concours restoration or a rat rod or anything in between. Good driver, just fixing up grandpa's old truck, making it a little better. I don't know that unless you tell me. Obviously, if a guy's building a rat rod, he doesn't care if that grill's banged up, beat up, rusty, because that's what he wants. If a guy's doing a nice restoration, it's got to be replated. He wants the straightest, cleanest piece he can find to send to the chrome shop. So, that's why I need to know that also. 9 times out of 10, when I pick up my phone, I start asking more questions than the person calling me. Because I need to ascertain all this information before I can, 1, tell you if I've even got a possibility, and then 2, know what I'm looking for when I go out to check it. So, that stuff is so critical. And something else that a lot of people don't think about is with the patina truck craze, every week I'm getting calls. Not only do I need a fender for a 50 Chevy truck or a door for a 54 International, I need a faded blue one, or I need a faded red one, or I need a faded green one to match the build. I get that every week. But I need to know that. If that's what you want, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem seeing if I've got something that'll work for you, but you've got to tell me that. I'm super easy to deal with, but you've got to give me the information. If you call me and I sound irritated, that's probably because I can't get information out of you. I'm asking the person on the other end of the phone, and they won't tell me the information that I need, and they won't answer my questions to try to help them. So if you ever call me and I sound irritated, it's because I'm having trouble getting information out of you. And that's why, because I don't want to ship you something that isn't what you want. I don't have the time to pull it, package it, and shipping is expensive anymore. And I don't have time to ship stuff back and forth because it isn't what you wanted. I would rather have a 45-second conversation on the phone, know exactly what you want, what you're trying to accomplish, and what you are trying to build, so that when I get out to the yard and I'm trying to find a part you need, I know what I'm looking for. That's why that's so important. That's why that phone call is so important. Texts, if you've got questions, we can do what we can do on the phone in 45 seconds or a minute. We could text back and forth for 17 minutes. One question at a time, trying to do what we can do in a 1-minute phone call. So that's why I just don't have time to deal with texts and emails. Texts are great for pictures. Super quick, super easy. You send me a text to my phone. We have a conversation. You send me a text. I need a picture of this fender for this 54 Chevy we just talked about. No problem. I go through my texts every day at the yard, go through who wants pictures of what, shoot them and fire them right back while I'm sitting there. Just that quick and that easy. Texts are terrible for having a conversation on because they take forever. So that's just why I can't do it. It's just not efficient, and we just don't really get anywhere with it. Something else that's very important that as you're looking for parts, do some research. See what else might fit. What will interchange with it? You know, a lot of GM stuff interchanges back and forth. Same with Ford and Mercury. Same with Mopar. What other years, makes, models of those brands of cars will fit it? Because if you can call me and say, this is what I'm working on, but from what I've found, this, or this will fit it. I may not have the car you're working on, but I may have 2 of the other ones that it will fit off of. A lot of that stuff, if it's something I'm very familiar with and have a lot of in stock and have dealt with them a lot, I can help guide you through some of that. But there's no way to know all of it. There's just too many different types of vehicles out there. You know, just even what I've got, I've got over 1,000 cars and trucks on the ground right now as we speak. So doing some of your own homework is huge. And it can make your life easier and my life easier. So that's just another suggestion that I've got. And like I said, we've got a few people popping up here on here. If you've got any specific questions, throw them up there. I'll try to get to them. And we'll try to work some of those in also. If you think of something after the fact, later tonight, tomorrow, or whatever, go ahead and post it, and I'll check the comments here in a couple days. And if there's some stuff we need to add to next Sunday night session at 7:30, if I get on the right channel, and I'll get them worked into next week's notes. So, doing a lot of talking, my throat's getting dry. Anyway, that's some of the tips, I guess, that I've got for you tonight. Next week, we're going to get into some of these sites that I use, obviously Facebook, YouTube, Craigslist, eBay, things like that. And we'll talk a little bit about some of their rules, parameters, how they operate, what it costs me to use some of those sites. And even though you may think that I got comments popping up. I lost my train of thought there. Even though you say, well, it doesn't matter what it costs you because I'm paying for it. No, I'm passing it on to you. I'm adding it into the price of the part. So we'll talk about some of that. Got Robert, my buddy Robert Seaburn's on with us, and he's exactly right. Hollander Interchange, to look some of that stuff up, is perfect. Got John on with us. What's the least expensive way to have things shipped? Depends on what it is. Obviously, everything's different. Small, light stuff, I use Postal Service on a lot of it. For normal ground stuff, I'd ship with FedEx. They just did a rate study with me, and they did drop my rates, and that does help me, which is going to help you with what I do on FedEx ground shipping. When you get into freight, which is obviously heavy things, engines, transmissions, differentials, but also big stuff, hoods, trunk lids, doors, big sheet metal. Those also have to go freight lines due to size, even though they don't weigh anything. I have negotiated rates with FedEx Freight for that stuff, and they are pretty competitive on that big stuff. So I've been working with them. A lot of people tell me Fastenal is pretty good. However, Fastenal does not cover everything. They go to where they have stores. I've heard they're very competitive, but I've never really dove into getting set up with Fastenal because they don't cover the country. And I never know. I don't know if I'm shipping to Atlanta or LA or, Utah or Florida or Houston. I never know. That changes by the day. So I have not done anything with Fastenal because of that. Everybody says Greyhound is, very reasonable. I do not have a Greyhound terminal near me, so I am about an hour away from a Greyhound terminal, one way. So that's not, effective either. John's asking about a 53 Chevy hood. I assume we're talking about shipping one. That is something I would ship FedEx Freight. And something else with freight shipping that a lot of people don't think about, and we're going to dive into some shipping stuff too next week or the week after, is residential deliveries, especially on freight, are expensive. They'll add $50, $75, $100 sometimes to a residential delivery on that big stuff because it's getting shipped freight, just because they got to take those freight trucks down into residential areas versus industrial parks and business districts where they're at anyway. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Also, if you're shipping big stuff, is if you don't have a commercial business, try to find somebody that will let you use theirs for a drop-off on big stuff. So, anyway, that's all I've got for tonight. I wanted to start this deal off. I hope it's beneficial. I hope that, I hope it's helping some people, because if it helps you, it's going to help me, and it's going to make everybody's life a lot easier. So, next week we'll do the same thing at 7:30, hopefully on the right channel. So, I guess I just don't have to share it to the Nobody Show now, because I basically did it over there too. So, anyway, next week we'll talk some more about the contact information things, about how I do things and what's the most effective, at least for me, and I think would help with a lot of people. where to look for parts, eBay, Craigslist, all the different parameters with those. Perfect example with eBay. I checked eBay right before I jumped on, and I had somebody email me about a Studebaker truck grill. Do I have one? Yeah, I've probably got 2 or 3 of them. However, since they contacted me through eBay and that part is not on eBay, I can't contact them and tell them I've got one. eBay can suspend my account for trying to sell stuff that's not on eBay. So there are all kinds of little weird things that's in the fine print, so to speak, with eBay and Craigslist and even PayPal with the shipping restrictions and things like that with PayPal that a lot of people don't realize. So we'll get into that stuff. We'll dive a little bit more into the shipping stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it's beneficial. Like I said, if you think of some stuff, if you've got any questions now, go ahead and throw them up, and we'll try to get to them before we wrap this up. If you think of something later tonight, tomorrow, or even Wednesday or whatever, I'll check the comments here in a few days or check them before we go next Sunday night. And let's see. John says, what's the best way to contact you? My numbers are on the page, 620-786-4428 or 620-793-3557. Shayla says we got some more questions. Know of anywhere that lists engine harnesses compatibility for LS stuff. I don't do much late model stuff. I know a lot of people want to run LSs, but I don't hardly have anything on the lot that has an LS in it, because out of the 1,100 cars that are sitting here, probably 100 of them were made this century. Everything else is 80s on back. So I don't know where to find anything like that on for LS stuff. That's all the questions I'm seeing. So if anybody else has anything else, I guess we will wrap this one up. And like I said, if you think of something later on, just throw it up there, and I'll go through the comments before we go live next Sunday night and try to work some of that stuff in too. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Hope it was helpful. And just give me a shout if you got any other specific questions, any parts needs, anything like that. So thanks for being here, and we will see you tomorrow night, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the Nobody Show page. Check us out over there. We've got lots more cool stuff coming from the new yard. What do we got coming up into this week's videos? Tomorrow night we've got some earlier stuff, 3940 era Chevys, 41 Ford Coupe. In tomorrow night's video, the next video, there's a Cadillac, an old Oldsmobile, like a 47 Olds, a few cool things there. Friday night, we've got, there's an International, I think, in Friday night's video, a Willys Aero sedan car, which is something you don't see very often. So be sure to keep an eye on the Nobody Show page this week, 7 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and check those videos out. And if you've got any other questions, just give me a shout. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week, hopefully at the right time on the right channel. Thanks for watching.